Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be closing out our June budget. So before we actually get into that, I'm going to show you what our month looked like. So here is the overview for June. Obviously we've done weekly check-ins together, so you kind of have, if you've been following along with that, then you kind of know, where we were at already. But this is kind of what it looked like. Very quickly, if you are not if you have not watched my videos before, I use this little color-coded system to track everything. So any expense we have should hopefully fit into one of these categories. So we have groceries, tobacco, that's for my husband, like our fun money, or that's like our entertainment. So anytime we go out to eat or we go do anything fun, or if we buy something extra, anything like that comes out of that. Then we have medical, so any kind of like co-payments or anything like that. Our bills are always in orange. Gas for our vehicles are in blue. Income, whether that be like his salary, my salary or whatever, or any kind of like miscellaneous, like if we get a refund or anything, all of that's going to be in green. And then pretty much anything else, if it doesn't fit into one of these categories, will go in unbudgeted. That's not the best way to do that, and I'm starting to rethink that, but that's kind of how we've always done it. So that's just how we did it for this month. And I've already set up July's budget, and that's how we did it there too. The only thing that I don't like about doing that is it feels like I don't ever budget anything. Since it's unbudgeted, I always budget $0, hoping that we wouldn't spend anything else, but we always do. So either way, it's kind of defeating to see that you spent something there, if that makes sense. But anyways, that is what I use, so you can kind of see where things fall. I like doing it like this because I can see where we spend the most money, which is always fun money. So everything in purple is fun money. That typically is where we spend the most, just because we do like to go out to eat. We like to, stop in and have lunch places if we're out. Like, we don't always plan ahead for that kind of stuff. We just like to kind of be able to do that. So that's kind of what we've got overview wise. So let's go ahead and see how we did. I have already closed out the month. I always make like a draft budget before we sit down and do it, and then I always close it out first. So I have already closed it out, so I kind of know where we're at already. So I'm going to set my notebook over here so that I can just kind of copy it as we go through. But let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to grab my pen. I just use these little pen and gear pens from Walmart. They write really well. They're like very fine point. But I just have a green one for when we are like under budgets, like when we're good, and then a red one for over budget when we were not good. So I'm going to pull those two out. I'm actually going to go ahead and just open them up so that they are nice and ready to be used, and we'll just set them over to the side. And then I also have out my calculator just in case. Like I said, I've already done everything, but I am going to sit it here just in case we need to check it or something. So let's go ahead and start with our income. So this month, for those of you that don't know, I used to teach. I did my first year of teaching for like in a public school or whatever this past school year. So for my name, what you're seeing there is what was typically my paycheck every month. We would get paid once a month in the district I worked in, and we do get paid all the way through the end of July. So I have one more paycheck coming. I did resign from my job. I'm not going back next year. I did a whole video about that, and if you've been around for a little while, you've heard about it. So you can go watch that if you want to know a little more of the details and what I'm doing now. But either way, for right now, we still have that paycheck coming in. But because I left the district I was working in, I had my health insurance through them. Like, I had my own health insurance policy through my job. I went back onto Jeremiah's. So his paycheck ended up being a little less than what I expected because we had to move me back over. So then they made him back pay for the whole month. And mine actually ended up being a little more because they didn't charge me for insurance this month, if that makes sense. So it kind of worked out, but either way, that is what we estimated for our things, and then we'll see what we have actually. So for he brought in $2,252.48. I brought in $2,543.94, and then we did have some miscellaneous things come in that added up to $1,123.75. So total for the month, income wise, we have $5,000. $920.17. So not too bad. Like I said though, his check was a little bit smaller, so technically I'm gonna use the red pen to put that we were like negative there because that didn't end up going the way I thought. But we'll use green for the others because it all kind of got made up for it. I hate writing against the coil. It looks terrible. So I'm just filling these numbers in. These don't really matter. I just kind of like to see where the difference and stuff was. So I don't know. That's just my personal preference. Let's see. Did I do that correctly? I don't think so. Yeah. I had to think for a second how I did that. Okay. Anyways, these numbers over here are just more for me. They don't really matter or anything like that. I just like to see the difference in kind of where we were green and where we were red, just for like future planning. But that is our income. So now we will move on to our expenses. All right, so moving on to expenses, our mortgage, we always pay the same amount, so I don't really ever have to change this. It was $650, we paid $650, so there's no difference there. Now for our Turbinex stuff, we estimated it to be $131.66. That has been our bill for the last like year now, was $131.66. But we actually renewed, and since we renewed, they now only charge us, basically what happened was with this bill, we had a, technically like a loan through them for our termite care. They had to come out and like bring a piece of equipment out to our house when we first did it and put these little like things in the ground around our house. And to do that, they charged us like one lump sum, but they split it up over the months, like over the whole 12 months of the year. So that was for, this amount right here was for paying that off, as well as just our like monthly payment for our bug like care or whatever. But now that we've paid that off completely, we only pay for the bug care thing. I don't know what you would call that, but like for just the monthly, having them come out every few months and like spray around the house and that kind of stuff if we have any issues. So now we only have to pay $35 a month, which is not bad. Obviously we're not complaining about that, but there was a difference there. So there was a difference of $96.66 to the good. So again, not complaining. That's a great thing. Then for AT&T, our bill was exactly what I knew it was going to be. Discovery Plus, same thing. None of this stuff up here usually changes. Our furniture, we always pay the same amount on every month. This one was actually a new expense for this month. The first mark, it was for some of my student loans that we were starting to pay back. So that was the first month this came out, but I knew what it was going to be ahead of time. Our water bill for our town ended up being $17.44. So we did have a difference there to the good, and that was $12.56. Then our power, we ended up having $94 even. So we were good there as well, $6. State Farm, we ended up having a little more. I added a whole life policy on myself this month. I did not have my own health or my own life insurance. Jeremiah already had one. So I added one on myself. So this one is a little higher than normal. So this month it was $232.51, which did put us over what we thought. So $12.51 over, which I mean, still is not that bad. And I knew it was going to be, considering I added that on. So now that's all of our bills. So down here is everything that is like stuff that we just budget a certain amount for in hopes that it will cover, you know, the like variable expenses. So the first one we have is gas for our cars. I budgeted $2.50. I don't know what I was thinking. I knew that was not going to be enough. One, because of gas prices the way they are, but two, in June we went to the Outer Banks. So that was a long trip, lots of gas to get there. So I knew we were going to be over budget with that. We ended up spending throughout the month of June a total of $425.54 on gas. So that did put us over budget by $175.54, which, like I said, I kind of expected that one. Now for groceries, we did $600, and we actually come out under budget on this one. We only spent $416.99. So we came out pretty good there. I think the difference, I'm trying to look at my notebook and see, The difference there was $183.01 to the good. So that one was good. And then for my husband's tobacco, we always budget $85. He spent $92.46. So we come out over budget there by $7.46. We didn't have any extra medical payments or anything, so there's nothing to take out there. Oops, I was supposed to put a period there. So no difference. This one is where it gets interesting. So for our fun money, for our entertainment, like I was explaining, out to eat, that kind of stuff, we budgeted $500, and that was for everything. So that was when we were out of town, all that kind of stuff. I ended up going back out of town at the end of the month with my mom to Charleston. So we spent way more than $500, like almost triple that amount. We spent $1,489.28 there. So we were over budget, obviously, $989.28. So hopefully in July that won't happen again. We don't have any trips planned for July. So we're back to just like our regular, just eating out when we want to and that kind of stuff. And so hopefully we'll be back keeping that one closer to what we actually budgeted. And so for this one, let's see, credit cards, we'll fill that one in. No difference there. Sinking funds, I did do our typical $869 to our savings and stuff for sinking funds, and that includes like our emergency fund, just a general savings account, savings for our vacations for next year, as well as like Christmas and birthday gifts. So that is all included in that. And then for unbudgeted, we spent $708.75. All right, so now adding all of that up, that brings us to a total spent for bills and variable expenses, just total of the month. We spent $5,529.33. Now, given that obviously was more than what we expected, but we brought in more than we expected. So the difference between these two is what I put for savings. And that brought us to $390.84 that we were to the good. So we still didn't come out over budget either way. It's still, you know, we came out to the good or whatever, but definitely some things that we've got to work on in July, like with fun money and stuff. So anyways, that is it for that. Now really quickly, I'm going to flip over and close out our sinking funds. I'm going to go ahead and close these up because we do not need these for this. I don't want them to dry out. All right. So you can see I had tracked like when I added stuff. We didn't take anything out of our sinking funds this month. We just have it all just adding up. So you can see what we added here. This is what we started with. So now I'm just going to go over and, you know, kind of track what we added in. So for our emergency fund, we added $200 to that savings account. So our ending balance there is $446.17. For vacation, general, and Christmas, I don't have it broke down over here when I added it. So give me 1 second and I'll look and see what I kind of delegated to each one. Okay, so I've got it pulled up over here on my notebook now. So you can see each time we added $334.50 twice throughout the month. So the way that broke down for each one, so for vacation, we added a total of $250. So that makes a total of $250 in there. Wow, it's so hard to write against the coil. For general savings, we added $85. And then for Christmas, we added $334. So I'll quickly just add these up and jot them down over here so that we can see our ending balance. Trying to think what that would be. $691. Okay. So $91.08. And now I'm just going to add, let's see where my calculator is. Move that out of the way. I just want to add it up and see what the total was. So 446.17 plus 250 plus 91.08 all of that added together brought us a total of $1,121.25 currently in our savings account. So not too bad for us just starting out with that. Now, before we close out everything, or since this is already closed, I'm going to flip over here to July, which we've already set up. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in our beginning categories and stuff. So for our emergency fund, we are starting out with a total of $446.17 there. Then let's see, what did we do next? I can't remember. For vacation, we are starting out with $250. Then for our general savings, we're starting out with $91.08. And then Christmas, I should really call this one gifts because it's for like birthday gifts and for Christmas. We are starting out with that $334 even. Okay, so now we're all set up and ready to go for July. I think that is it that we need to do. I'm going to stick my little tracker thingy over here for July now that we've completely closed out June and we are done with that. I'm going to put my ruler in here for July. And we are all set up and ready to go. If you guys did not watch my July budget setup, it is already posted. I did it this past week and showed it or shared it with you guys. So you can go see like what we did here. But yeah, we're ready to go. So next Sunday, we'll have our week 1 check-in for July and then through the rest of the month. If you guys have any questions about how I budget or anything like that, definitely leave it in the comments below. I know it kind of could look confusing, but this works for us and it kind of works for my brain. Just to like see things wrote out this way. So this is what we do. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, bye guys.